Hey guys, what's going on? Today we got a deck profile of my second place Floowandeerze deck that I played at locals yesterday. Um, this is with the new spell. I was only able to get two of them for the tournament, but the deck still performed pretty well. A few things have come up recently that I haven't been able to upload. Primarily that my main capture source being my phone broke. But we got a new phone, and I made sure to get one that was higher quality camera. That way the content does look better. But yeah, this is my flu deck. Like I said, new spell. Really changed the way this deck works. Isn't close to a finalized list that I'm happy with, but it's what I had to play with, and I got second. I only lost to a friend of mine because I hard bricked game 3. I had two Drolls, an Ash, a Toucan, and unexplored winds, and I used the unexplored winds to put the Toucan back in hopes that I drew Robin or Duality or anything, and instead I ended up drawing the third Droll. So yeah, I'm going to get into the deck profile. Starting with the 3 Robin, 3 Eagle, the 2 Street. Now we're on 2 Street. Originally I was very against 2 Street just because you didn't really need it, but now you just need to see as many names as possible. So Street is really good in that sense. And then we got the Toucan. Just 9 little ones. That's really all you need. I see people trying to argue for 10 and play the second Toucan, but I think that Toucan is just a brick almost every situation. It's only there for the grind. And it's got some really cool interactions you could do with the quick play spell on your opponent's turn. We're on double M-Pen. The Flu quick play spell allows you to banish any wing beast, so including M-Pen. So it's nice to be able to banish the one and just have access to the other. It's also in the grind game. This is a lot better now, and the format is a lot grindier now. We're still on the Mega Ryza and the Avion. I don't think that there's a reason to cut Avion for a second Ryza because that's just as bricky. And at least Avion serves unique focus, or not focus, but a unique dynamic to the deck, and that's having an Omni Negate for the grind game. And then the last thing we're playing is the Wind Barrier statue. No longer playing DD Crow. Just, again, it's kind of a brick. Even though you could banish it for wins if you drew it over another hand trap that I'm playing, but overall, rather just not play it. The deck is still 41, I guess I should have mentioned that. The hand traps, we're playing 3 Ash Blossom because it's the most generic, and you really need to just stop the adventurer stuff and DPE from summoning, and 3 Shifter. These are the best hand traps for the deck. I'm also playing 3 Impermanence that we'll get to later. Dimension Shifter is just like skip your opponent's turns. Card's crazy, but I don't really need to talk about that. For the spells, we got the 3 Magnificent Map and the Terraforming still. You just need to see as many of your engine pieces as you can. If you get enough of them, then your opponent won't have enough interruption to deal with all of them. As I said, only 2 Advent. This would easily be the 3rd over the second copy of Winds. The second Winds was just here and for testing to help going second. And there was almost never a time that I wish I had the second. Every time I drew the second, it felt bad. It never really got ogred, so it always just felt like a wasted slot, and it always came out, even when I was going second. For the pots, we're still on 3 Extra, 3 Duality. This is going to get upgraded to Prosperity in the future. You really just need to dig for your pieces, and it really doesn't matter what pots you play, in my opinion, as much as people give it credit. Like, that you are digging for a specific piece, but that specific piece can also just be drawn, plus you get extra cards. So I don't know. I feel like the debate on that Prosperity is the only one you should play, and you just shouldn't play the deck if you don't have it. It's just incorrect, because you can still play without it. Obviously, online and testing and stuff, I always play the Prosperities, but don't have them in paper. 2 Book of Moon. We're still playing Book of Moon with Advent, and I would still play this even without when I get the 3rd This card serves as both disruption and protection. It's really good. I want to try to find room for the third. Last week, before the spell came out, I was playing Enemy Controller, which is also something I would consider going back to, because Enemy Controller is insane. The ability to have wins on the field, econ an opponent's monster, and then tribute that monster and another one of their monsters is just an insane amount of board-breaking power. And this is technically what I was playing over the third copy of Advent. I know I was playing the second Winds, but I wanted to try it out anyway. But after playing with it, I was really impressed with every time I drew Gold Sark. It really overperformed. So I'm thinking about leaving this in here. Even at worst case, just as the 41st card, and I know that seems kind of redundant, but with Advent and this, you're able to chain block almost every play you do. So I feel like it's just highly necessary to keep this Gold Sark in. Next, traps to 3 impermanents. This is the most generic, and it trades efficiently. So gotta play it. And then the 1 Dreaming Town. This card is cracked. I wish I had multiple sometimes, but it's too clunky. And then for the extra deck, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is a little bit more optimized, but it's still not optimized how I want it. We have to play weird numbers and ratios because we're playing Extravagance, but the 3 Entis, obviously, I really need to explain this. And then 1 of each of the Lyrisk, rank 1s. 2 Downerd Magicians, 1 Gustav. I'm citing the Sphere mode, so I figured it'd be kind of cute, because if you just can't kill your opponent for whatever reason, then you just have the free 2k burn. And then 2 Zeus. You'll never really make any of these, however, I did get to make some of the cards I'm about to show you. 1 Anima, never made this one, but out of all the Link 1s that you could play, I feel this is the best, because people don't respect zone placement when they're playing against Flu. And it's pretty obvious that you don't really have to, but like if you get to the situation where you get to use your extra deck and you just get to take your opponent's monster, it's crazy. So these are the cards I made yesterday. We got the 2 Farigite and 2 Shirag. You can actually make these cards pretty easily with Advent now. Like, you set up your entire turn on your opponent's turn by just summoning all your dudes, and then you can go into Farigite and then summon a bird from your hand, and then when you summon the bird, you can link everything else off for Shirag, and then Shirag will trade or banish with anything on the field. This primarily came up because I didn't have an out to Sigma, so I had to change from my game plan to trying to control my opponent's board to just Shirag beat down into the final Sigma. It was really cool, because it also gives me back Robin, and since you're linking these and not exceeding, they're all unbanished again. So Shirag was able to summon itself and chain block itself, and the more important add backs. So it was quite good. And then the side, which was the part that condemned me the most, just because every time I sided, I bricked. We got the 3 Droll and Lockbirds, 2 Sphere modes, and the Dark Samorg. Sphere moding on your opponent's turn is very easy now, so I would definitely recommend playing Sphere mode in your side to some capacity. And then Droll and Lock is very good for my particular locals, and if you see the Samorg, then you know we're playing anti-spell, so when you see it, don't be shocked. 3 Cosmic Cyclones. I wanted chainable back row disruption instead of mass back row disruption like Lightning Storm, mainly because you lose pretty hard to things like TC whenever they just activate it. And I know you could just Lightning Storm it all, but you can also just draw this in the mid game and wipe the TC if they draw it late. You always have to think if like the card you're losing to can be established and you can lose to it at any point in the game rather than just the first turn where you theoretically see Lightning Storm, then you need to have the chainable card to it. And then the other debate was evenly matched. I don't like evenly in this deck because you're already losing to Lancia and people already side Lancia into you, and it's just not really worth it. MSTs could also be in consideration for that same theory, but I don't know. Having the coverage for other things like Eldritch was worth it. The theory stands true though. You lose to Lancia, so you want to try to minimize as much of that in your side as possible. But this was just too good not to play. The 3 Dark Ruler. I really wish that these were Heartbeast Featherstorms, but I didn't play them. Featherstorm would have been better almost all night. And Dark Ruler is good, don't get me wrong. But your deck's already really good at breaking boards. And with Sphere Mode, you don't really need Dark Ruler. Except for the Synchro deck that one of my friends plays that always just ends on Sigma because he knows that's like hard for me to out, even though it's not impossible anymore. So I don't know. Maybe we'll just cut this for Featherstorm in the future. And then, like I said, with the some work, you got your 3 anti-spells. This is a pretty hard lock against people, and it forces them to have Imperm and not have used it on your turn. So that's it for the deck profile. We will do an updated one once I get my 3rd Advent, and if I top locals again with it. I'm only going to report if I get 1st or 2nd. We didn't get any feature matches again because I'm still getting everything situated with my home life. But I promise we're going to start pumping out content again. And until then, thanks for watching. Please remember to comment, rate, subscribe, and leave any suggestions for videos you would like down below. We'll have a virtual world needle fiber deck profile coming out this week as well. Probably tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. But until then, thanks for watching. Peace, YouTube.